Thank you.
Yeah, you can share your screen and we'll see.
Yeah, sir. Just wait a moment, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
instruction I
that's a
got.
Cloud Shell. That's Cloud Shell.
Yes, sir. Fine.
For that, you no need to install anything. Everything will be pre-installed in this particular thing. And the requirement is you have to what to say, create a storage account for the temporary storage.
Yeah, I created storage account, sir.
Yeah. So I don't get your doubt. What is the doubt now?
How can this get in PowerShell, sir?
You're already in PowerShell. Let me take the control. Approve that control. I'll tell you.
Yes, sir.
Right. Good. So let me maximize. So you're in PowerShell. Here there are two different things: Bash
Yeah,
or
Bash, sir.
PowerShell.
Yeah, sir. I don't know about that.
No problem. If you want to play with PowerShell, this is the space. You're in PowerShell. And if you want to play with AZ CLI, right? Any other
Yes,
CLI,
sir.
Linux flavor, you can go with Bash. For now, we are dealing with PowerShell. Let me get AZ. AZ context is a command to see where you are. See, you already logged into your subscription.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get AZ context is a command to show where you are residing in, which subscription you logged in, right? So get AZ resource group. Maybe your maybe it's a typo, right? So get hyphen AZ resource group. Yeah, tab. Hit tab, it will show. See, you do have 3 different resource groups in your subscription.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you're trying to use this, right? Connect AZ account.
Yeah, sir.
No, don't use. In Cloud Shell, you no need to use. It's already authenticated with your subscription.
Okay, sir.
You no need to do that. It's already there. You connected. If you open Cloud Shell, you created a storage account and it is automatically connected to your environment. You no need to give connect AZ account.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Right? So rest everything is common. I think so far so good. And yeah, this is to everyone. If anyone facing this issue, you can use Cloud Shell also. There is no doubt in it. From Cloud Shell also you can play. But generally, will not open Cloud Shell. That requires a storage account, etc. Unnecessary burden, right? Why we need to bear that? Yeah, simply sir. we can play from our PowerShell. So yeah, why you not using your PowerShell client? Is there any issue?
No, sir. Actually, something went. This is my third account, sir. Microsoft account.
No problem. What happens? No, PowerShell. I'm asking to PowerShell.
PowerShell.
Can I open that?
Yeah, sir. Sure.
I see.
Actually, I'm practicing from this only, sir. Like the code.
You not install any Azure related. Okay, let me install it. Install hyphen module space hyphen name AZ. Do you have admin rights?
Yes,
is it
sir.
your personal or?
Yes, sir. Not my personal, sir.
Personal, right? Then yes. I'll open ISC in admin mode.
Admin, run as administrator.
I don't know. I'm not getting cursor, right? Am I getting any cursor?
I'm getting cursor, sir. Actually, you're not getting.
Okay, then install hyphen module. Type that somewhere. Yeah. Oh, now you're getting install hyphen module. Second one. Yeah. Space enter. No. Type hyphen again. Go back. Install hyphen module. Second one. Enter. Yeah. Space hyphen name. Space AZ. AZ. No, not hyphen. Don't give any hyphen. Module name is AZ. That's it. Run it. Run selection.
Set is showing.
Sir, is it a case sensitive, sir?
No, not at all. Not at all. Just a moment. I don't know. I'm unable to manage due to some reason. Let me give up the control and then let me take again.
Yeah, sir.
No, it's suddenly gone. Now, can you please approve?
Yeah, sir, I put it.
No. Okay, because you might open this in admin, it might not allow me to do. Right? Is that the same?
Yeah, sir.
don't-
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. I think.
Then you can copy paste that import module PowerShell get, right?
Yeah, sir.
Below in error he literally mentioned import module space PowerShell get. Import hyphen module, yeah, space PowerShell get. Below in error second line he literally mentioned it. PowerShell get, yeah, enter or run it. One second. Maybe the execution. Okay. I think you are not set the execution policy also. No problem. Set execution policy. Set hyphen execution policy. Second one. Yeah. Enter. Space hyphen execution policy. Yeah. Enter. Space. Very last one unrestricted. Very last one unrestricted. Yeah, that's it. Execute that line. Yes to all. I think yes to all. Each and every time you're playing button, don't give the play button. You can do the run selection button. What happened now?
Yes.
Import module. What happened? Why again import module is came? Set execution. No, only keep the cursor on the second line and run selection. Oh, what happened?
Should I have?
No. I want previous command. Okay, you do one thing. In the below, there is an error, right? Above to that, set execution policy unrestricted. Just
Yes,
copy
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Copy that. Copy. Select and copy. Below one. Yeah. Copy and paste above. Yes. Only, yeah. Now run selection. Keep the cursor on the very last line. Yes, that's correct. Run selection. You don't need to select an entire line. If you keep cursor also, that will work. Don't play. That's what I'm saying. Yes to all. Give yes to all.
Yes, sir.
You're playing. Yeah, that's all. Yes to all. Yes. Now execution policy is unrestricted. Very good. So now very first line. Keep the cursor on the very first line. Run selection. Second one. Yes. Now module because found in the module directory. Okay. No problem. Now, no, PowerShell get, right? It's not PowerShell actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Give get, PowerShell get. And run selection. GET get and run selection. No, are you able to type that?
I think we'll ask him.
We'll ask him. Mhm. Maybe. Okay, no problem. Okay, I think he'll come back. Who's he? Is
Hello, sir, shall I screen?
yeah, please again. Yeah. Kranti, right? Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. PowerShell get and import module is happening. No problem. Now install module. Very last line, enter. Install module. Install hyphen module. Space hyphen name. Space hyphen name. No, there should not be space in between hyphen and name. Remove that space. Yes. Space AZ. Run selection, very second button. Yeah. If something asked, you can give yes to all. Yes to all.
Yes, sir. I did.
Okay, I think it will take some time, but nothing to worry. If something asked, yes to all, yes to all. There is no other thing. It will be installed for you. You can stop your screen sharing just for the interest of the time. We'll proceed further.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, today topic is, and finally, Kranti, you can tell me on the finally whether it is installed or not. End of the session.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Yeah. Now, let me share my screen. Actually, I'll club load balancer and traffic manager, but we'll take one by one. To complete traffic manager, we need to complete the web app. So that will take some time. Because we completed virtual machines, we can complete load balancer. Okay, today concept is load balancer. I think this concept we are hearing from the day one. What the concept is, if I have multiple virtual machine with same application, if I want to avail zone, if zone failure also, my application needs to be available. In such situation, we'll take load balancer. Or if one virtual machine is failed, right? If we configured any high availability options, right? Availability set or the availability zone, any availability configuration we configured for the virtual machine, and we spread the virtual machines across the multiple zones or across multiple we send spread across multiple data centers or a separated hardware, anything in any situation, we can build virtual machine such a way and we can install same application in multiple virtual machines. We can configure load balancer and that load balancer will serve the customer. Load balancer will serve the customer for his requirement. So for the high availability, for the application high availability, even if one virtual machine or two virtual machines are fail, my application needs to be available for the customer. Means I will configure, one of the way that we can configure is Azure Load Balancer. In Azure Load Balancer, we have two different types: public load balancer, internal load balancer, right? So private, I mean, whatever we can create inside private networking. Public load balancer will have a public endpoint, a public IP, right, which is internet facing thing. Customers, okay, I'll give you two different scenarios. Some applications requires public access. Some application requires internal access, which does not need internet access, right? So if we take irctc.com, that requires some internet access. Even many applications that railway department hosted only for the employees. Try to understand. There are many applications they host for their employees. That is purely internal, right? Which will not have, which will not be able to access from outside the internet. Those kind of applications are called private applications. So in any application scenarios, we can configure load balancer. Here, I'm taking two different virtual machines, having same what to say application, and those are connected to one single load balancer. If one virtual machine is failed, right? If one virtual machine is failed completely, my request will go to the virtual machine number 2 and it will serve for the end user. That's it. So this is the example, Azure load balancer example. There will be a public IP address, right? There will be a public IP address and a load balancer will be there. And on top of this, there will be a public IP address. And here we will have two different virtual machines. Two different virtual machine will have two different network adapters, right? Where we are assigning the private IP at the network adapter, where we assign the public IP at the network adapter, right? So those network adapters will be connected to load balancer, and load balancer will not sit inside the VNet. This is the VNet. If you see, this is the VNet. It is not sitting inside. Load balancer is not sitting inside the VNet and it is sitting outside in Azure. It is inside Azure, but it is not sitting inside the VNet. Simple. So, and it will have a public endpoint with public IP. Customers are able to, users are able to connect to the application using public endpoint. Simple. This is the concept of Azure load balancer with public IP, external load balancer. And Azure internal load balancer, these are the key features, provides load balancing for inside the virtual network. So in which case we use, right? ILB, internal load balancer. If our applications are hosted, right? Our applications are hosted in on premises and we want to connect that to application or any database resides in the cloud. In such situation, or within the cloud itself. Within the cloud, we need some load balancing concept. If one operating system goes down, we need to have the high availability on the other virtual machine. In such situations, we use internal load balancer. Very simple concept is, this is inside of the virtual network and high availability between the virtual machines in one particular network. Simple. So this is the scenario. See, now load balancer is sitting inside the VNet. This is the VNet and load balancer is sitting inside and it will be configured for the virtual machines. And you can, if you want, it's not the mandatory. If you want to communicate with the load balancer, you can communicate from the on-premises network. That's it, because we enable VPN connection or express route, etc. Right? So that's it. Otherwise, inside Azure, you can communicate, but not the public endpoint. It will not really get the public endpoint to connect with the users. This is traffic manager, leave it. I'll take that separately. So now the concept is very simple concept, load balancer. Load balancer will have two different types, internal and external. we create two different virtual machines. That two different virtual machines, we install same application and we try to use the load balancer, and we'll see what the configurations really needed. So first one, virtual machine, create virtual machine. LB test RG01. So VM01, for example, West Europe, availability options. If you want, you can select one virtual machine in, because we are creating two different virtual machines, right? We'll have zone level high availability. And 2 CPU, 8 GB memory is enough. And test user. Hello, we need RDP. Nothing really. Yeah, one thing. In networking, please do not forget public IP. By default, if you're not doing anything, public IP will be basic SKU. What you have to do? Create new, click create new, right? And take standard one. Remember one thing, it has to be standard. I don't know, this is okay. Because we selected zone, right? Availability zones are only supported standard. Perfect. That's what we want. Very simple. That's what we want. And if you're not selecting the availability zone, right? By default, this will be configured with the basic. So this option will be enabled. Let me show you. I think I can show that. For example, I don't want anything here. And networking, if I come here, right? See, by default, this will be basic. That will be an impact for our testing. You have to select this manually. If you are doing without zones, right? If we select the availability settings as zone, for example, availability zone, zone 1 or 2 or 3. And now if you come to the networking, it's gone. I don't know. Okay, no problem. Create new. By default, it will be standard. Click OK. That's it. Make sure, what I'm saying is make sure it is standard, not the basic. Basic will not support load balancer. I think that's it. Management. Anything needed? No. Review create.
Sir, I have a query. So we are creating two virtual machines with two public IPs.
Yeah.
Okay. So on top of it, we are configuring the load balancer. That is also public IP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can we create a virtual machine having a private IPs in background, and we can configure a virtual load balancer, and we can give a public IP for a load balancer. Is that also possible, sir?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. That's possible. In, for example, productive environment, they won't entertain the public IPs, right?
Yeah, yes.
So, yeah. But here, what you have to remember is we are using the public IP to connecting the virtual machine. Okay, I think the mistake, because see, the public IP we are using for the our sake. We want to install some application, right? We want to log into the virtual machine. For that same reason, we are using the public IP, but we are not configuring the load balancer with public IP. Why I am saying to select the standard, right, instead of basic, because if a virtual machine is attached a public IP that is basic, will not support. You don't create a public IP, then it will support. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir, I have problem with that, sir. Actually, I'm creating, but it is not showing.
Problem in the sense?
Can I share? Wait a minute, sir.
Yeah, meantime, if you want to share, let me know. Anyhow,
Sir, I'm sharing my screen, sir.
let me stop it. Yeah, share it. I can see IC.
Yes.
You're creating some Linux virtual machine? Anything, not a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Go to networking.
Yes. Next.
Yeah, public IP.
Yeah, sir.
No, you're not selecting any zone related. No problem. Even we can create like this also.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Yeah. You can stop it. I'll share mine.
Yeah, sir.
So a virtual machine is being created.
Sir, refresh browser, sir. Sometimes.
No, man. Here, this refresh is enough. There is a refresh here, right? This is enough. And one more thing. This will tell us in time. If we refresh, we are out of the deployment progress, right? So sometimes it will take a minute or two. Yeah, now it is done. Okay, so this is one virtual machine. Meantime, what I do is I'll initiate another virtual machine. For example, dev. Same, you can create in another resource group. Resource group is not a matter anytime. VM02. And now I want to take availability zone 3, for example. So test user and complex password. That's it. Okay, and I don't need to see now. Definitely public IP will come with the standard. I don't need to see now. So, okay, this is what we want. There is a VNet. It is taking in. Fine. So let me create it. Two virtual machine in same VNet. Try to understand. Two different virtual machine in same VNet I'm creating in. Once this is created, I think I can go here. Meantime, this virtual machine, let me log in. Come on. Home. Virtual machine. Let me take the PIP, public IP, MSDSC, IP. Okay. Test user. Okay. Now let this okay. For now, let me, because we already leveraged, I mean, we already started using PowerShell. Let me create an NSG and install application. Yeah, now this is important. Please listen. Now we are using a command that will allow us to install any application or any modification, anything inside the operating system. A PowerShell command will allow us to modify inside operating system. There is a special command. Without this command, you can't do anything inside operating system. So in Azure CLI, we do have same type of command. In PowerShell, we do have same type of command. Let me show you. Due to some reason, my ISA always takes longer time. Okay, now install IIS is okay. Yeah, this one. And install IIS, these two. See, now we are dealing with VM01. I'll explain each and every line of this code, nothing to worry. We are dealing with VM01. And for example, in networking, what the NSG we can see, this is right, VM01 NSG. What we are seeing is VM01 NSG. And resource group name, whatever the resource group, just give that. Yeah, right. These are the variables. Yesterday I told we can define the variables in PowerShell. If I run this, each and every variable will have unique value which we stored inside of it. So each and every will have this details. Now, what I want to do is first I want to create a NSG rule. I want to create an NSG rule and I want to install some application inside operating system. Inside this operating system, generally, if you want to install something, let me show you what I'm doing inside operating system. Then I'll manage the same from outside. So server manager, go to server manager. That's what. And add, right? Add roles and features. Click on this, add roles and features. Click next. Click next. Role based is okay. Click next on the virtual machine. Here, right? Web server. What I'm installing here, web server. Select this, add feature, next, 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 right? If I install now, IIS components, all IIS related components will be installed, right? This is manual process. If I come inside operating system, if I install this, this is what it will happen. It will install a IIS server inside the operating system, some virtual machine. I don't want to do this from here, right? Let me close this. Let me close this and I will install this from outside. But that's what, if you want to install it manually, after selecting all of that, install, that will install. I want to show from outside. For that, what we are doing, invoke AZ VM run command is a special command designed to run scripts inside operating system, either script or a single liner or any modification, anything, right? Anything you can do, simple, anything you can do inside operating system. This is the command invoke, and this is interview question as well. So how can I do any modifications, installations, deletions, etc., inside operating system without logging in, without giving any username and password? How I can do that, right? So if I run this particular line, am I giving any username and password here? No. What I actually done is I connected to the Azure environment, get AZ context. This is what I just connected to the Azure environment. Come on, why this much time? Yeah, see, I'm in the dev subscription. Only thing, you have to be in the same subscription. That's it. I'm really not giving the username and password to log in directly. It will go through Azure operating system, right? Inside operating system, how it will go? It will not use the RDP, remote desktop protocol. It will not use remote desktop protocol. At the back end, it will go and connect to the virtual machine with this command. This command can connect to the virtual machine operating system, and it can perform anything. So let me explain this command. Invoke AZVM run command. We have to mention where the virtual machine resides, in which resource group, what is the virtual machine name, and what is the command you want to run. Command ID, run PowerShell script. Run PowerShell script, because this is Windows operating system. Whatever I'm showing here, this is Windows operating system, right? That's why run PowerShell script. And if it is Linux, run shell script. That's it. Only difference. Even this applies for the Linux virtual machines also. Only thing here it will change is that power will be removed. Run shell script. That's it. And script path, additional script path. I'm just mentioning a script path. Let me take you to this particular location, right? C, training data, PS, PowerShell, install IAS. This is the one, right? C, training data, PS, install IAS install.ias install.ps1. So what I'm giving it, I can give 100 lines of it. To install inside operating system some IAS web server, only one command. If I want, I can give 100 lines. There is no doubt in it, right? So there is no doubt. We can give okay. Let me add another, get date. That's it. One more line I had just for namesake, right? 2 lines I'm executing here. So this will get the date. This will install the web server inside operating system. Single line command to install inside operating system. Now, if I run this, IAS will be installed inside operating system. We will run it together. Before to that, I'm enabling a rule. Let's see what rule that is. First, we have to get AZ network security group, NSG. What is the NSG name? What is the which resource group it residing in? Okay, first this line will get NSG details. On top of that, pipeline. Pipeline means on top of that, on top of the result, add AZ network security rule config, right? Now I'm configuring the rule is port 80 as a name, description is this, and access is allow, protocol is star, right? TCP, UDP, ICMP, anything, star, everything. Direction is inbound. I'm adding a inbound port, right? Inbound rule with priority number 100 and source address prefix is internet. I'm allowing traffic from internet to this particular virtual machine only to port 80, not any port, right? So that is source port range is star. Source is anything, right? But the destination is where we port 80. Yeah, destination port range is 80. That's it. So set AC network security group. Finally, on top of that, I'm setting it. This command creates a role and it is assigned to the NSG. So if I run this all, if you anyone of you having any doubt, you can stop me anytime. So if I run this, what happens is first this will enable a rule. After that, it will go inside operating system and it will install IIS server. That's why I variable everything. VM name, RG name, NSE name. See, NSE name, RG name, everything. That's why I variable. Rule is created. Let's see whether it is created or not. In networking or NSG, you can go directly, or from here you can go. It's up to you. This is NSG, and inbound rule. What we are added is inbound 100, 480, 80, any internet. From internet, we are allowing this, and it is action is allow. That's it. So this will take some time to install for sure. Meantime, I can change this to VM02 because I have to run this again on the VM02. See, IIS is already installed, right? So that's what. From outside, I'm able to install some application inside operating system. That's why I told this is important. Please note. So this is what.
Sir, like this, we can create a database management system. And
Anything. Not only this, anything. For example, if you have a file share where your application packages resides, right? That package you can invoke and you can install, unzip it, install it, set the configuration, change the files, change the permissions, anything you can do. But for this is, there is a command, but generally people will manage this command instantly use. That is okay. If inside there is any work, we will be use this and we invoke VM run command. But generally for this purpose, we do have Ansible and Ansible Tower. Companies will use Ansible Tower or Ansible. But we can do this with this also. I think I have to capture the output. Let me capture the output next time. Run output, right? So next time it will be useful. VM02 and VM02 NSG. Let me install on VM02. Let this done. Meantime, I'll show you because IIS is installed. Let me open a browser. Not this. Oh, why? Okay, so let me take a browser here. localhost. See, this is IIS. Because IIS is installed, it is showing a page with IIS. So now what I want to do is, because both applications, for the demo purpose, because both applications are having same page, both will have same page, right? What I want to do is, I just want to mark something different. This virtual machine is coming, sorry, this application is coming from this virtual machine. Like that, I'll do one thing. On C, if you go to C drive, inet pub. If IIS is installed, you can see this, under which you can see www root. And this is the page actually it is showing there. Edit. Now I want to take a text. Here it is coming from VM01. I'm just marking that, right? Close, save. If I refresh the web page, see VM0. This is what we want to see. Let me show you from outside, right? So we go to the virtual machine, we take this IP, we paste it, and see, this is coming from VM01. This is what, through public IP, just for the demonstration. How load balancer works is, load balancer works using the network adapter. I shown you in a picture that it is not using the public IP, it is using network adapter private IP. So let me refresh. Another virtual machine also needs to come. Yeah, came. And let me take this public IP. I think this should complete, right? Yeah, this is completed. Okay. Why I stored this in a variable? Let me see. Let me print this. It contains some values. Yeah. The time, we get date we mentioned, right? This is get date info. And this is successful of the that particular thing, IIS. Two different outputs. You can manage that. Okay. So it is completed. Our job is done. Now we go to the virtual machine public IP. We take that and we print here. Right? It does not have any VM or VM2, VM1, right? Because we are not modified it. Let us do that. Paste it. Test user. So IIS is installed. We can see that even in the virtual machine. That's why we are able to see the page. And we go to this C drive, inet pub, www root, and edit it. It will open in this thing. Take one VM02. VM02. That's it. Close and save it. That's it. We don't want anything more than that. If I refresh, say VM02, this is VM01. Same application installed in two different virtual machines. Now we configure load balancer. load balancer, create load balancer and same subscription. Optional, you can create in another resource group also. ELB 001 external load balancer that we are creating in, right? There are two types, internal as I told, public I told. I'm testing public, you can test internal. So standard, make sure you select standard only. So, and here we do have global and it's like cross regional, right? If you want to have a load balancer, which is cross region, across the region, multiple regions, you can. And but one more thing, this feature is in preview now. The second option is in preview. It might be available after a month or less than that. Now regional, but thing is within region, if you want to route something, this is global. Within region, global. It's up to you. And next, this is front-end IP, right? If you want to configure anything, front-end IP configuration, backend pools, inbound pools, etc., etc. I don't know. This thing is not there earlier. Really, earlier we can create a load balancer without front-end IP configuration, backend pools. I mean, front-end configuration is by default, but rest everything is not showing here. Azure changes every day. Just before 10 days, I created a load balancer and configured in my environment. It is not like this. No problem. We'll learn new things. Not a problem. So only the basic thing is you have to mention your subscription and instance details. What is the type, SKU, etc. Create a name, give a region, select a tier like regional or global. We want to deal regional now. Next. And front-end IP. Front-end IP in the sense, the IP of the load balancer. Whatever the IP we want to create for the load balancer. So ELB pip01, and we don't have any public IP, free public IP, we will create one. So by default static will be there. Name ELB pip01, and I'll change this name. This is front-end IP address, I mean configuration name. Config, under which we are creating a public IP, ELB pip01. And right, if you want to have availability zone, you can configure it, this zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and I'm creating no zone redundancy. And routing preference, I think some other example I told you. There will be two different routing preferences, Microsoft Network and Internet. For example, I do have a storage account and I do have a virtual machine. Storage account with the public access, right? All networks. And then what happens is virtual machine will reach the storage account through the internet. Through the internet. Later some years, many customers are complained about it, and Microsoft brought Microsoft Network in the place. So what happens? It is still using public endpoint, but traffic will not go to the internet. It will be inside Microsoft Azure data center. It will route inside Microsoft Network. Simple. That is what? Either you want internet routing or Microsoft. Generally, Microsoft routing. Click OK. Add. Right? External. Backend pools. Let me see. Without backend pools is, I think it's getting created. Okay. Only front-end IP configuration is mentioned. We'll do it inside. Nothing to worry. We'll do everything inside.
Sir, we have given a name for the public IP, and the IP will automatically taken.
Automatically. IP, how it comes is Microsoft purchases public IPs from internet service providers, whoever there, maybe Vodafone, Airtel, etc., right? From them, Microsoft purchase bulk IPs. They'll keep in a pool, IP pool. From that pool, it will take automatically. So that means, yes, it is from Microsoft only. We are not able to decide which IP we want to take.
Got it.
Yeah, go to resource and see front-end IP configuration. This is what we configured. ELB pip 001, right? And the name is this ELB pip configuration. And the backend pool. Only thing is we have to fill backend pool, health probe, load balancing. That's it, right? So backend pool, add one pool. This is crucial. This is important. Backend pool. What is that pool? What is backend? Backend means from where you want to, to where you want to route this traffic is a backend. So backend pool 01 and see, is asking us select a virtual network, isn't it? Select a virtual network and it is network adapter. We are using backend pool configuration maybe based on the NIC, based on the IP addresses, and we type the address, right? It's up to you how you want to go. Easiest method is select the network adapter and add your virtual machines. Add, select both virtual machines, add here. That's it. See, what is taking? Someone asked why we are creating public IPs. Without public IPs, can we create? We are not creating with the public IP. The actual traffic is routing to the private IP configurations. So that's it. Add. Let this create. Yeah, done. So we added backend pool. In backend pool 01, we added two resources, VM01 and VM02 with IP addresses and network interface details, and it is showing availability zone details as well. VM01 is in zone 1, VM02 is in zone 3. If one virtual machine failed, which is located in another zone, no issue at all. Your traffic will be routed to the another virtual machine. And it is not only two virtual machines. You can add hundreds of the virtual machines to a load balancer, right? So it's up to you. Next one is health probe. Health probe. We're just monitoring the TCP protocol and port 80. Interval is 5 seconds. Unhealthy threshold of 2. I'll explain what is those. Probe 01. It's just for monitoring, right? See, how we need to fail over, how we understand if one virtual machine is not healthy, is not reachable, how we understand it. That's what we are defining here. We are defining a health probe of TCP protocol with the port number 80, because that is what we enabled, right? It is port number 80. And interval is every 5 seconds. It will validate every 5 seconds. And if it is found any unhealthy threshold of 2 consecutive, right? If any 2 consecutive failures, then it will detect a virtual machine is not reachable. This is a health probe to monitor whatever the nodes that added. For example, if 10 virtual machines are added, if these 10 virtual machines will be monitored by this probe configuration, right? Every 5 seconds, it will watch. And if any consecutive failures, 2 failures, that's it. It will consider that virtual machine is failover and no traffic will be sent to that particular virtual machine. Simple. Add it. I think it's 11, right? Yeah. Sorry, longer session. But we came for the conclusion. Only one configuration is needed. Okay. Now, this is the health probe and load balancing rule. If we configure load balancing rule, this rule will handle the load, right? How we want to handle the load will be decided here. LB rule 01, load balancing rule 01, and we are configuring IPv4 only, and front-end IP. It's simple. Load balancing rule will contain all the configurations that we done so far, including front-end, including back-end, including the probe. See, first thing, front-end IP. Whatever we configured, select that. And port 80. And backend port also, everything 80. And here we have to select backend pool. Health probe, whatever we created, select it. And that's it. That's it, really. So this will be the rule that actually affect. So if we take the public IP of the load balancer, we can able to. That's it. Rule also created. Then let's go to the Oreo, right? And take the public IP. It is coming from VM1. Try to understand. It is coming from VM1. If I refresh, nothing will happen. Everything is coming from VM1 because anyone will be taken by default. Based on the load, it will segregate it. Because my VM01 is super healthy, it is not going to move out from that particular VM01. Now, what we do, we stop this VM01. For example, we consider this virtual machine is not available. Something happened. This virtual machine is not available. So let's done. I think it is stopped and deallocated. Perfect. Now, I think this is VM01. It is rotating and it is not reachable. It will go off for sure. Let's take in a maybe a cache. I'll take in yeah, it's gone. Now it's gone. Yeah, right. This is what the expected behavior. Application is if load balancer is not there, this will happen to your application. If load balancer is there, right? VM02, that's it. Instantly, right? It's instantly triggered. I mean, routed to different virtual machine. Now your web application is available from VM01. So this is what. So now what we understand is load balancer is to balance the load between the virtual machine. This is the high availability option for our virtual machine, for our application which is hosted in a virtual machine. And we can configure the virtual machines. I mean, while creating the virtual machines itself, we can decide the high availability, whether we want to configure the availability set, whether we want to configure the zone, right? It's up to you. Availability zone, availability set, it's up to you completely. How you want to segregate your virtual machines across different zones or different availability sets, anything. So this is what from me. If you have any doubt, we can take now.
Sir, while creating a VM in networking, we can see that attach VM2 load balance, so that there itself we can.
Yeah, we can do that. Yes.
So I remembered that point. So just wanted.
No, we can do that. There's no doubt. But
Sir,
the base way what we do is we create a load balancer. From there we decide, right? So yeah.
Sir, so for example, if we have a 2 VMs, on top of it we have one load balancer. Suppose the during a peak time or 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. the business is more, and so during that time 2 virtual machines are filled up with more CPU and memory and all. So can we able to create a one more virtual machine, add that virtual machine into the load balancer automatically? So in order to make the application efficient and
No, virtual machine scale sets are there for that requirement.
okay,
right? So virtual machine, you can't do anything. If you want, you can do it manually, right? So or else we do have with virtual machine, you want to do this means we do have another option. For example, 2 virtual machines you configured, then you can decide like for example, at least for the scale up, what we can do is if we will watch the load balancer, right? I mean, we will watch virtual machine performance, and in monitoring, we can write a rule like if these virtual machines are utilized this much, both together, then what we do, we can invoke a automation account. Automation account will create another virtual machine and add to the load balancer. That's something workaround we can do. But virtual machine scale sets are designed for the same reason. You no need to worry. Only thing you design is what is the minimum count, what is the maximum count. Based on the utilization, it will go up and down.
got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, one more query. Like so here the load balancing is like how it works internally, like based on the traffic or memory utilization or CPU utilization or round robin.
It's just segregation, right? Load balancer will have some algorithms inside it, and it will watch the virtual machine utilizations, and it will see it is not only the high availability, it is also does the load balancing. If some virtual machine is 90% utilized, some virtual machine is 20% utilized, it will normalize the load. Yes, it will normalize as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll wind up today if no doubts. See you tomorrow then.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Sir, I think it's completed, sir.
For you. And then do one thing, connect -AZ account, and it will connect it to the Azure environment. Get -AZ resource group, and you should able to get the resource groups.
Okay, sir, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.